What's up, y'all? I just wanted to just come on here and vent a little bit about the current situation with Hollywood, with the WGA strike, the SAG AFTRA strike. Not gonna lie to y'all, Hollywood has broken my heart, man. So, if a lot of you guys don't know, I work in the entertainment industry. Uh, I've worked on major movies, major television shows. I initially started out as an actor in indie stuff, had my own web series and stuff like that because initially, like, my goal was to be like a big actor, big writer, big entertainer, you know. If you had to put a career path on what I'm trying to do, just think like if Issa Rae and Donald Glover had a baby, right? That'd be me. Cause I love acting, I love music, I love writing, I love directing, I love producing, I love all the above. And when I first started doing music, and the music industry is like the devil's playground. That's that's a whole nother video I gotta do. So when I pivoted to film, I didn't even see myself as a screenwriter. I knew what a screenwriter was, but I just didn't think like a regular person like me could do it. I thought like I would probably have to go to like one of those big schools, be in school for 10 years, and then it was actually like fellow um actors. Like people was coming to me asking me to like write them scenes for their reels. And a reel is essentially for an actor, a reel is like your footage. Like you need clips of your different tapes of you acting in different things. And a lot of actors have not, been casted in a lot of stuff, so they need to sometimes like have original scenes created for them so they could have real footage. And a lot of people was asking me for real footage because I was just writing little funny scenes, and then I finally started taking like the screenwriting serious, and people really liked my writing. I thought because I was doing so well and people were complimenting my writing, I had wrote a web series. It was getting great views. Um, Honestly, if the cast I was working with had long term vision, we probably could have really blew up on YouTube. But after a couple of episodes, and I get it. We were young at the time. People felt like, oh, they're not getting paid, and then people just started not wanting to show up in film. So I just like after a few episodes, I just canceled the web series. And I did not know that trying to break into the industry as a screenwriter was gonna be so hard. I was like, I have good scripts. People love my scripts. Um, Number one, I live in Atlanta, but I always said that shoot, as soon as I get hired for something in LA, I'll go ahead and I'll move to LA or New York, wherever the job is. To get into one of those writing rooms, it is so hard. All the different little writing competitions and stuff like that, there some of them are called fellowships. I have been in consideration for several of them. Uh, from the Nickelodeon writing program to the ABC Disney writing program. It's like so many of them. I have gotten feedback on the stuff I've submitted. Great feedback. Like, hey, we love your writing, da 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 da. This is that. And then I was never chosen. And then just, networking with different people in the industry and submitting stuff, I started to get on the radar of some like executives and networks and stuff like that. I had a meeting with a top executive for one of the biggest networks in the world. Y'all, apologize for my smoke detector. Don't judge me, y'all. He loved me. He said I was funny. He said my writing was good. He then put me in contact with like, it was kind of like a database program in which they had a group of creatives. I'm not gonna say the network or company's name, not yet, but it was a group of creatives. It was directors, composers, screenwriters that like they gather a group of like 30 something of us and was like, hey, you guys are next. Y'all are gonna get staffed. And I thought that was my golden ticket. You know what I mean? So I was like excited. I was like, finally I'm about to get on. Now, some of the best advice I had gotten early on in my career in Hollywood was that, hey, you just have to learn how to pivot, you know? I think in the beginning, when I was going into meetings, I would tell people like, oh, I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm a producer, I'm a director, I do this, I do that. And I thought that was a good thing. I'll never forget, a friend of mine had linked me with somebody, and then I thought the meeting went great. And then I was just like, okay, so, you know, the person, because I'm thinking I'm an asset. If you hire me to do this, I could do all these four things for you. The person then told the mutual friend, like, he's talented and I know he's going to make it, but he needs to figure out what he wants to do. He's saying he writes, he's saying he's acts, he's saying he directs, he's saying he produces. He needs to figure out what he wants to do. And I was so confused by that because I was like, well, I do all of them. Why do I have to choose one thing? But then I realized that's what Hollywood is. And I can tell you, man, I done been a part of so many games and finesses, y'all. I done been this close. Well, thought this close. I done talking to the producer. We talking about numbers as far as how much my project is going to cost. We're developing stuff in meetings, and I'm just like, I'm thinking I'm about to be out of here. I'm thinking I'm about to be the male Issa Rae. I'm thinking I'm about to blow up, and then things just stop. And it's happened so many times, and only like, and then what happened was I started getting hired to work on set, not necessarily in the roles that I wanted, but like I said, you have to learn how to pivot. So I started getting hired on actual movie sets and television sets to do things like being a prop master, working in the art department, being a wardrobe stylist. These are all things that I didn't necessarily pursue those things, but then like people saw that I was good at some stuff, so I started getting hired working. So then my game plan was like, okay, cool. You got to just get in the door and then start pivoting. So I have worked, I don't even really want to say, but I've worked on quite a lot of different television and movie shows that you've seen, and worked with a lot of celebrities and stuff that you know. And I've styled them. I've worked as a prop master. I've worked as, you know, in the art department, you know, because you got to understand, there's 100 people on a movie set. Everything that happens on camera, somebody's behind it. If you see an artist, you see an actor walk into a room, somebody put clothes on the actor, somebody put makeup on the actor, somebody did the actor's hair, somebody, you know, designed the set, somebody, like, it's so many factors that goes into film and television. So I had made enough connections, and now I was like having meetings with like the big dogs, and I had invested my own money in like 3 previous projects in like the short film scene. They did okay. Got me a little bit of eyes on me, but it was nothing really happened. And finally, people were telling me like, "Oh well, it's because you live in Atlanta, right?" I moved to California for about 3 months. Moved to California. I had a work from home job. I had enough connections in the industry. Like my resume looked pretty good. I had industry experience and I had already had my writing connect. So I was like waiting to just get staffed as a writer. And I moved to California and it was like I couldn't find a place to live. Every time I went apartment hunting, it was like psh, at least like 20 to 50 people looking at the same apartment. For every like one apartment, there's probably like over 100 people that's going to try to apply to it. One apartment I thought I was going to get, the lady told me she had 150 applicants for one apartment. And you got to understand how that's like mind blowing to me because in Atlanta, these apartment complexes, they hunt you down. Like the minute you go in and you express interest, man, they cater to you. They're like, come look at the apartment. Okay, if you get the apartment, we gonna throw in this amenity, or we'll give you a discount off your rent. Like they do everything to get you to sign the lease. In California, it was kind of flipped because you have to prove why you deserve the apartment. It was strange. So after like a few months, I was doing Airbnbs. I just was like, man, I can't do this. And at the time, I was getting a lot. This was during the pandemic. I was getting a lot of call about work in Atlanta, but again, I was in California, so I had to turn them down. So I finally said, screw it. And I moved back to Atlanta, and I just kind of hit the ground running. So I did a lot of set work for like the last 2-3 years, and I was always working in 2 different fields. I had a work from home job. So I still had my work from home job, and then I was working on movie and television sets. So I had 2 sources of income. And that might sound great, but then after like going on 3 years of doing that, I started to get mentally exhausted because I was on movie sets working, like, doing my job. And, I'm not gonna lie, I fucked up sometimes. Like sometimes I didn't respond to an email quickly at my job because I was on set. I was fixing something in the scene. Or I had to go change something. Or I had to go get something. And then it was just like I was being pulled in 2 different directions. And I finally was like, man, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this. I gotta choose one. And I prayed on it and I prayed on it and I prayed on it. Now, a few years prior, I was in the same situation. And I was like in corporate. I was temping at a corporate job and I was so unhappy there. And then at the time I was getting a lot of like good feedback on my scripts. And I was like, man, I might just have to take a leap of faith and just go try to do entertainment full time. I did that and I quickly failed. Within a few months, I was broke and I had to try to find another job. So, this is like 4 years later, and I'm kind of at that crossroads again. Now, I was just like, God, I'm praying to God. I'm just like, God, show me direction, show me direction. I had written a script, and I had worked with this really talented producer, and I had reached out to her, and I was like, man, I feel like this script could really go places. I have a lot of scripts, but I feel like this one, it's the one. So I reached out to her, and she was like, she liked the script, and she was like, let's try to get it sold. So it wasn't as simple as that. It was a whole bunch of stuff. She needed me to do this, she needed me to do that, and rework this, redid it. It was like a couple of weeks of going back and forth. So she tells me, I think this script would really do good on such and such. I'm not gonna say what the network is. She's like, this script would be great for such and such. We submitted, we pitched it. The network, they liked it. It was going back and forth. They wanted me to like submit some more stuff for the film treatment, budgets, all that stuff, and we're going back and forth. Like, I'm literally in an email correspondence with the big producer and the network person. And I'm just feeling like, oh, this is about to blow. Like, I'm finally about to get on as a screenwriter, and like, my career is about to take off. Because so many times before that, and a lot of people who see me on social media, they might think like, oh, because I'm working on all these movie sets, I'm popping. But you got to understand, you might work on a movie set for a couple of weeks and then you're unemployed. You have to kind of like jump on another job. And then because movie set productions are so up and down the place, sometimes you can't even like line your jobs up. Because I'll give you an example. I had got booked in 6 months. I had got booked on 3 different projects that was supposed to happen like back to back to back. I was going to shoot one project for a month, then another project for 2 months, and then another, like they were supposed to line up. So I had lined it up or whatever. The first project went off, and then the second projects, they both got delayed. So I wasn't working for like on movie sets for a couple, like a month and a half. Then the second and third projects that I was supposed to work on, they wanted to resume filming right around the same time as each other. So now I got to decide which one I'm trying to do. So that's just how the entertainment industry is. You can't read because stuff changed so much. So I was thinking that, I could probably make a decision and fully, because I thought this script was going to be sold. This network person had liked me, and this is the furthest I have gotten to my dreams of being a screenwriter. Like, I've had big people in the industry look at myself, but this is like the person who actually gets the stuff, like the acquisition person, the person who presses the green light. And everything this lady wants, I'm sending it. I'm giving like, they're asking us questions like, okay, well, when will you guys film this? And I'm like, oh God, like, thank you, Jesus. I'm about to like finally get on. Then we started hearing rumblings about there might be a WGA strike coming up in May. And I'm like, oh God, no. So I'm just like, please, let's go ahead and sign this deal. Let me go ahead and sell this movie because I want to go ahead and like get this stuff off. And after like, I want to say like a month, maybe like 5 weeks of going back and forth, the lady pretty much was like, hey, we like the projects, but at this time, we're going to go ahead and pass because, the strike might be coming up and like, we're not sure. So we're really holding off on like funding new projects. And when I tell you, I was legit devastated because it was like, damn. Because what people don't understand, like, with people don't understand with a web series and all this stuff. People are like, oh yeah, just do it on your own. It's easier said than that. I don't have the money to shoot a full-fledged movie, and I'm a really badass writer. Like, I have literally had my scripts read by some of the top people in the industry, and they love my stuff. But you got to understand that the entertainment industry is a whole bunch of politics. It's a whole bunch of who knows who. It's a bunch of you're talented, but if I introduce you to my agent, then you're my competition. So it's a whole bunch of games. So to finally be in a position where I have a producer who is like very successful. This producer I'm talking about, I still love her. She's still trying to help me get this movie made during these strikes. Um, Actually say, yeah, I'm walking you into the rooms is huge, but it's just so much disappointment. You know what I mean? I would have felt a little bit more clarity if I was straight up being told like my stuff is whack. If somebody was straight up telling me like, man, your stuff is whack, it's no good. But when you have like people like, oh yeah, this is dope. It's funny, it's this, it's that, it could work well. Let's set up a meeting. Then you have a meeting, then like, okay, we're gonna meet again. Then you have another meeting again. And then it's just like meetings about meetings, and then you just it's these games and politics, and then shit don't go nowhere. And then with the WGA strike and the SAG strike, all the productions, like 90 something percent of the productions I worked on aren't filming. So I have not worked on a set in months because they had already started to kind of like close down productions in like April. So I don't know. It's like it's just like kind of heartbreaking because you know your potential, you know your talent, and I'm just being vulnerable with y'all because I think like a lot of people think that I'm so popping. I got all no, I'm nowhere near where I want to be. I want to write. I want to be a creator. Like not saying I want somebody's career, but like I said, if you see like what Issa Rae is doing and what Donald Glover is doing, and even somebody like a Tyler Perry. I know Tyler Perry is very controversial because a lot of people talk about the quality of his content, but Tyler Perry is a beast when it comes to the business. So I would say that I don't know, man. With the strikes, they definitely needed to happen because what writers, the people like myself, I'm trying to get to where some of those big writers are. And when they're not being fairly compensated, but you have executives who have never written a script, directed anything, acted anything, and they're making like 4 times, 5 times what you make, and they're just making phone calls and sending emails. It's insane. Like, the industry will fuck you up when you start seeing how much the people on top make. Like I said, I'm behind the scenes and I see like when like even with my projects, I've seen like the numbers break down and a budget comes out and they say, okay, it's a such and such $1 million project. And you realize that even though you wrote and created the project, right? You're not getting the most, especially as a new writer, you're not getting the most money at all. The producers and the actors and the director get way more money than you. And I'm not talking about a little bit, like double and triple what you're getting on the project that you wrote and you produced. So it's even insane, like how they treat writers. And even with actors, a lot of people think that all actors are popping. For every one Tom Cruise, it's maybe a million struggling actors. Though the celebrities, the really big stars, it's a small percentage of them. Most actors I know are struggling. Most actors I know got part-time jobs. I know actors who have acted in TV and commercials and stuff like that, and they got like 3-4 roommates in LA. So it's not as even like people see me around celebrities and on movie sets and all that stuff. It's not as glamorous as you think. With me, I just want the financial comfort so I can invest in myself. And also with me, I want to get on so I can help put a lot of other people on too. Because I know talented people who the industry probably would never give them a chance. But as an up and coming creative, I just don't have the money, to be funding everything myself. So then that's why I was like, look, I need the backing of a network or whatever. And then like some of the scripts I got, like the script I'm talking to you guys about, that script is so damn good. I even have big actors who want to do the movie, but you gotta have the money for it. And like I said, that whole thing just broke my heart. And like I said, I hope the strike is over soon. I genuinely hope the strike is over soon. And I hope, I'm not gonna lie, I hope I get my big break soon, because I don't know how much longer I could have Hollywood just disappointing me like that, man. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, you just gotta not give up, and it's not about giving up. I don't know if I just gotta take a long break from the industry or what, but it's just like, damn, how many games do I have to play? If the talent is there, people work with me, whatever, but it's kind of like, and then another thing too, a lot of people don't like it when you're too smart in the industry. I'm not signing any random paperwork you put in front of my face, bro. Like, I'm going to have my entertainment attorney look over it. And a lot of people in the entertainment industry don't like that. They want you to just be so desperate to just sign whatever way, give up 100% of your rights, and I'm not that guy. That's why I freaking love Tyler Perry, because Tyler Perry, he really is a beast when it comes to business. Yeah, y'all might talk about the story ain't good and the writing isn't good and the acting and the wigs and stuff, but the brother is a beast when it comes to business. You feel me? So, I don't know, y'all. Just wanted to vent to y'all. Any other screenwriters out there, I'm with you. Keep pushing your pen, keep writing. And hopefully this gets resolved soon, man. Because I'm not going to lie, y'all. I'm just praying for a financial miracle, because if somebody just randomly gives me the amount of money I need to shoot my projects, I'll do it. I'm not waiting on Hollywood. But the type of vision I have, I just need that good budget to get it done. And it's like, I just can't. I don't want to shoot, because the project that I pitched that was almost bought by a big network, I'll say it's a Christmas movie. It's a really dope Christmas movie. And like I said, I have all the key components there. It's just about getting the budget. I have some big actors that love it. Like I said, I have two pretty known producers behind it, but it's just about us getting the funding to do it. And then also we're in the middle of a strike, so I don't know. Anyways, y'all, like, comment, subscribe. I'm going to be popping out these videos for y'all. I'm trying to have at least 3 videos a week. But anyway, it's your boy Gippetto. Keep looking. And if you're a writer too, leave some comments and tell me how your writing journey has been. Okay? All right, y'all. Peace.